Welcome to the show, Coleen.
Oh, welcome. Well, people have been fascinated, but we're not going to go into the details of the court case because that's kind of been done and dusted now. But in the documentary, I feel that you get a real sense of you. And even though that you've been in the public eye since you were 16, a teenager, I don't think we've ever really got to know you. Was it a big decision to do the documentary? I know you wanted to set the record straight, but also it meant kind of showing a bit more of yourself, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, and I think the documentary gave me time to tell my story, and it was just a good way of telling it from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I mean, we've both watched it, and it's such an interesting watch. And
you can't stop once you start.
People are going to love it. But I have to say, you know, yourself and Wayne, I mean, you were completely, like, thrust into the limelight at such a young age, wasn't you? And I kind of wanted to ask you about, which is, it's in the documentary, about the photographers and stuff like that. You know, do you remember, like, the first time you were followed by a photographer?
Yeah, I do. I was walking to school one day. Wayne had just been to my house to pick up some headphones he left over, and he was going to his first England meet-up. And then I was walking to school, and the man took the photograph, and there was a lot of giddy girls in school that day just wondering what was going to happen with this photograph. And then the weekend after, it was in a national newspaper.
You must have been mad at 16,
yeah.
right? Kind of, because when you look back now, it just looks wrong, don't it? But like, when you were 16, it must have been a whirlwind. Right?
Yeah, it was. But Wayne was going through it at the same time, so it was quite good because we had each other to go through it together.
Yeah. And then in the documentary as well, of course, you document the ups and downs that you've had. You know, your private life has been splashed all over the front pages for years and years now. How do you cope with that privately at home?
Well, going to what we've just talked about, we've been in the public eye for over 20 years now, and we've gone through it together, so we've had each other to support, and we've learned to cope, but we've got a great family support system, and also we're really strong-minded, the two of us.
And I think you get a real sense of, you know, your parents are obviously real supporters, aren't they? They live just down the road, as you say. They're always there during those big moments, which, you know, I really related to that because, you know, it's the same with my parents. When bad things happen, that's who you turn to, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. As parents, you're always going to be protective of your children and you just want the best for them. So it wasn't just me going through this court case or this period of time. It was my parents as well and my family and friends who are around us all the time.
Now, within the documentary, you talk about, you know, all of that, what, you know, we've just mentioned there. But, you know, when you discovered that personal information was being leaked from your private social media account, by the way, you know, to the press. I mean, you did your own investigation as well, you know, throughout it all, before publicly naming the account. I mean, when I watched it, I thought that must have been a really tough decision for you at that time to kind of go down that road with it. Could it have been easy just to kind of go, oh, just get rid and delete?
Yeah, it was, but it was going on for so long, and I put warning posts out there saying someone was leaking my private information, and it just didn't stop. It continued, and I'd had enough. I just wanted it done with.
And I bet you knew that the reaction would be big to that post, but it was absolutely off the charts, wasn't it?
I knew there'd be attention, but not the level it got. I was really shocked at how big it got.
And was there any moment then that you thought, oh, gosh, you know, maybe I've made a mistake, or were you like, no, I'm sticking to my guns?
No, as I say, throughout the documentary, they were my words, and I stick by them today, and that was something that I continued with. It was tough. There was times where I just wanted it to go away, but that's what I had to do. I had to just battle on.
Yeah.
I think at the root of it, I think the sense that myself and Alex got was about your kind of protection of your family. And, you know, the kind of process that you go through to figure it all out, you had to keep a large period of that process to yourself. That must have been so hard not to even just go to a friend or a family member and go, look, this is the plan.
Yeah, that's the way I've always coped in life. That is my coping mechanism, is to keep things within and not to trouble other people. I don't like to say something and then them be worried about me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I got everything I could right and then deliver what I'd been doing. But if I did tell anyone, that's just not, it's not going to work because I needed to keep it all to myself until I knew.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
It was like,